In recent weeks, Turkey has emerged as a central diplomatic force in efforts to stabilize Gaza and the broader region, steering negotiations, monitoring ceasefire compliance, and advocating for long-term political solutions. At the core of this push is the country's longtime leader, Recep Tayyip Erdoğan, who continues to hold the presidential office. On October 9, 2025, after months of intense conflict, a landmark ceasefire agreement was reached between Hamas and Israel. The accord, brokered with heavy US involvement, but with Turkey playing a central role, ended nearly 2 years of warfare that devastated large parts of Gaza. From the earliest phases of the truce, Ankara committed to not only endorsing the deal, but actively participating in its implementation. In an official statement, the Turkish government reaffirmed that Turkey would continue to provide substantial humanitarian aid to Gaza in the period ahead, and pledged to contribute throughout all phases of the ceasefire agreement. But Turkey's ambitions go beyond humanitarian relief. Its leadership envisions itself as a central guarantor and future architect of Gaza's reconstruction and long-term governance. Turkish officials emphasize that lasting peace in the Middle East requires a just resolution of the Israeli-Palestinian question, with Gaza ultimately governed by Palestinians. President Erdoğan has publicly underscored Turkey's priorities: an immediate, comprehensive ceasefire, unrestricted humanitarian access to Gaza, and a Palestinian-led political future for the enclave. On the sidelines of a regional tour, he told journalists, "Our priority is to achieve an urgent and comprehensive ceasefire as soon as possible." And defending Palestinian sovereignty, he stated, "It is very important that Gaza remain land of the Palestinian people, that they ultimately govern it." Under the 2025 agreement, Turkey was invited to join a multilateral task force to monitor ceasefire implementation, a role that signals a shift from passive supporter to active enforcer of the truce. The diplomatic push did not stop there. In early November 2025, Turkey convened a Gaza Peace Summit, along with key Muslim majority and Arab states. The summit produced a collective call for Palestinian self-rule in Gaza, rejecting any model of foreign hegemony or external trusteeship. At a press point following the summit, a senior Turkish official said that Hamas appeared ready to cede Gaza control, signalling a possible transition towards a post-conflict governance structure under Palestinian leadership. Despite diplomatic efforts, the ceasefire remains precarious. Critics in Israel and among regional rivals view Turkey's growing role as provocative, questioning Ankara's long-standing ties to Hamas and concern about its expanding influence. On several occasions since the truce, Turkish officials accused Israel of violating the agreement. Erdoğan, in remarks following a Gulf tour, called on the United States and other international partners to pressure Israel, including via sanctions or halting arms sales, to ensure full compliance. Internally, Ankara has emphasized that Hamas has so far complied with the terms. As one Turkish statement put it, the Hamas side is abiding by the ceasefire. In fact, it is openly stating its commitment to this. But the real test lies in whether external pressure on Israel will deter renewed aggression. With the immediate ceasefire holding, albeit fragile, attention has shifted toward what comes next: rebuilding Gaza, establishing governance, and securing a sustainable Palestinian political future under international backing. Turkey, along with its Muslim and Arab allies, is advocating for a model of Palestinian self-rule in Gaza, rejecting foreign trusteeships or prolonged outside control. The logic, Turkish diplomats argue, is simple. Gaza must remain the land of its people. As one senior statement put it, lasting peace in the Middle East can only be achieved through a just resolution of the Israeli-Palestinian question. But implementing that vision will require coordination among multiple actors: Hamas, if it agrees to relinquish exclusive control; Palestinian factions, Egypt, Qatar, the United States, and other regional powers. Turkey seems prepared to take a central bridging role. Meanwhile, the Turkish government continues to provide humanitarian aid and support reconstruction efforts as a demonstration of commitment. Turkey's active engagement in Gaza diplomacy represents more than humanitarian concern. It signals a broader reassertion of Ankara's regional influence. After nearly 2 decades in power, Erdoğan appears eager to leverage the Gaza ceasefire as a diplomatic turning point. By positioning Turkey as a central player in Gaza's future, from ceasefire enforcement to political reconstruction, Ankara is staking out a leadership role in Middle Eastern geopolitics at a critical juncture. This move also gives Turkey greater leverage in its relations with both Western powers and regional actors. For many Palestinians and Muslim-majority states, Turkey's pivot provides hope for a Gaza governed by its own people, not under foreign military or administrative guardianship. The call for Palestinian self-rule resonates with long-standing demands and may reshape future peace negotiations. Yet the complexity of the task cannot be overstated. Ensuring compliance with the ceasefire, mediating between conflicting Palestinian factions, managing reconstruction under international supervision, and securing external support for Gaza's governance will require sustained commitment, diplomatic agility, and delicate balancing of regional interests. Turkey, under President Erdoğan, has firmly positioned itself as a lead mediator and implementer in the Gaza ceasefire accord. Ankara invokes humanitarian aims, the principle of Palestinian self-rule, and long-term regional stability as guiding motives. The ceasefire remains fragile, with Turkish officials warning Israel that international pressure, including sanctions, may be required to ensure compliance. The future plan involves Gaza governance led by Palestinians, supported by Turkey and regional partners, but details remain fluid. This diplomatic push marks a strategic reset for Turkey's regional role, potentially redefining its influence in Middle East politics. As Turkey continues to play a pivotal role in shaping the future of Gaza, President Erdoğan's diplomatic efforts signal a broader reassertion of Ankara's influence in the region. With its central position in the ceasefire agreement, Turkey is not only providing vital humanitarian aid, but also working toward a lasting political solution, advocating for Palestinian self-rule and governance. The delicate balance between enforcing the ceasefire and ensuring a just resolution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict will require sustained diplomacy and collaboration among regional and international actors, with Turkey at the forefront of these efforts. As the situation unfolds, Erdoğan's leadership will be crucial in determining the path forward for Gaza and the Middle East as a whole.